Good morning, guys. It's Edward here again at Pressure Points. We've got another project that we kind of wanted to document for you. We have a nice gray pool deck here that was sealed. You know, Lord knows what they put on it. The entire surface kind of turned white and milky looking. They used polymeric sand, which is really nice if you know how to use it. If you don't know how to use it, it can be a nightmare. So what we've been contracted to do today is to come in, get all the old polymeric sand out of the joints, strip off all the old sealer, resand it, and seal it with Seal and Lock Super Wet. We're actually going to add a nice dark gray tint to it to make it look really nice and rich. If you come over here, what we've done for the homeowner is we've done a small sample section of our process. Now we're going to restrip all this. This was just kind of an idea, but you can see here's our sand, and you can see we didn't put too much sealer on it. It's a sample section, but it dries nice and hard, nice and white. Here's some of this polymeric stuff that turned gray. It just flakes right out. Now polymeric sand, if you know anything about it, is supposed to dry hard like concrete. So we're not sure if the application process, we're not sure what happened, but all we know is we're going to come in, we're going to get all this old polymeric sand out, clean the surface, put a stripping agent over the top of it. It'll break down that old sealer. We'll pressure wash all that stuff off, and then we'll seal it, tint it, sand it, and it'll look beautiful and like new again. Did want to point out some of these things on the side of the coping. You've got on the inside some drip marks. I don't know if you can get in here. You can see these little drip marks where it turns white a little bit. What we're going to do is strip all that stuff off as well. We want this coping to be a nice dark gray color again. Over here is a better indicator of what's going on. We've got some moisture patches here. But these papers are supposed to be a nice dark gray, yet you've got all these light spots and light areas. If you look back here, supposedly it's been stripped twice before it's been resealed. You can see all the water beading on the surface. So what that leads us to believe is that, we don't know, maybe the homeowner was taken advantage of. But when we're done, we'll re-video it afterwards, show you that all the sealer is off, there's no water beading. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us, 813-333-1709, and that's Pressure Points. Our website is pressurepointsonline.com. Feel free to navigate. If you have any questions, give us a shout. Thanks. Guys, it's Edward. We're back here at the same project from yesterday. We got a little rained out, so we didn't get a chance to finish doing our cleaning and joint sand removal. But I think this is a great opportunity to show you what the middle of a project looks like when you've had an inferior contractor come in to try to do work, and then you have an experienced contractor come in and try to do work. So this pool deck, like we said before, was supposedly stripped at some point in time in the last month or two. What we've done here is we've cleaned these sections, and just using high pressure, we've gotten a lot of this old sealer off. So I'm not sure what the other company was using as far as equipment goes, but if you look here, you can see where our surface cleaner hit, just kind of cleaned up the surface while still taking a lot of that old failing sealer off. I know, you know, maybe it's tough to see on the video. I don't know if you can see the lines or not, which is great for us. So it gets a lot of that top sealer off. When we put our stripping agent on, it can really get into the pores of the stone, remove all that excess sealer that's been embedded in the stone. Right now, we're going to finish cleaning this. I'm going to be stripping this coping over here. So what we've done is, and I'll upload another video when we're in the process of doing it, we roll a stripping agent onto the coping. It starts to eat up this old sealer, kind of starts breaking it down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use what we call a turbo tip, which is a high pressure nozzle. It's a spinner nozzle, very, very strong and powerful. We've got to be careful and safe with it. But it really gives us an opportunity to use high pressure on this coping without damaging it while still getting the old sealer off. We'll try and upload another video of the actual stripping process once we get into it. But we thought it would be nice this morning to at least show you what the old failing sealer looks like once it's coming off with just high pressure. And then we'll sand and seal it and add a nice gray tint to it. You can see right here, we didn't really touch the coping much, but our surface cleaner, just from going over it and trying to clean the stones, has left an outline where it's taken off some of that old failing sealer as well. You can see where we didn't hit. These are all signs of us knowing what we're doing, trying to help out a consumer that's been taken advantage of, so to speak, or hired a company that didn't know what they were doing. So if you do need your pavers restored, we do a lot of different projects. Pressure Points, 813-333-1709. We're more than happy to come out and talk to you about your project and get you on the schedule to fix it. So if you need anything, give us a call. This is Edward. Day 3 on our project. We decided to make sure we took our time, did a thorough cleaning, did a thorough stripping, get all this joint sand out. So now what we have is a uniform appearance surface. All the old sealer has been taken off. We do have a couple touch-up spots, which we'll show you in a second, things we look for just to make sure the surface is perfect. But we were able to pretty much clean out all of this old polymeric joint sand, which is a pain in the butt. We've got a surface now that is free of old sealer. What we're going to do now is we're going to just make sure do our little minor touch-ups. We got some pads to do, and then we got our blowers. We're going to dry the surface, we're going to sand it, and then we're going to tint the heck out of it, make it a nice dark gray color. The homeowner definitely wants darker sand. We use a white sand, which is really nice, a standard sand, but what we can do is when we add our tinting agent, we'll add a little more, we'll flood the joints. It should give it a little bit of a gray appearance. The only other way to get the dark sand is polymeric, which we hate using for obvious reasons like this. But anyway, yes, now we have a nice clean surface. All of our coping has been stripped. It's all not going to be nice and dark and gray again. So what we'll do is we'll make sure that we upload a video of our actual sealing process with the tint in it. Tinting is something we can do to restore the color of pavers. If you find that your pavers have faded out in the sunshine as opposed to underneath an overhang, let's say on a pool deck, we can help bring those back to life. It's a semi-translucent paver sealer tint, so what it does is it just kind of identifies the color that we're looking for. Reds, it'll pick out the red, beige, grays, etc., etc. So if you have any questions on that, we do specialize in paver restoration. Feel free to call us, 813-333-1709, and once again, it's Edward over here at Pressure Points. Alright guys, it's Edward. We're finally here at the end of our paver restoration job. We've stripped the old sealer off. We've removed all of the old polymeric sand. As you can see, we now have fresh joint stabilizing sand in between all the cracks. What the homeowner wants us to do is come in and tint the sand to try to get it dark, as well as tinting the pavers. So what we're going to do is we've added a nice gray tint to our sealer mix. We've got Mike over here. He brushes the coping as to make sure we don't get too much into the pool. Make sure we get a nice thick color on that gray coping as well. So what I'm going to show you is, here's how we actually do our sealing. I'm just going to start in an open area and show you how we do it. Our main goal with our first coat is to flood these joints, lock that sand into place, do a nice heavy coat. If you can zoom in a little bit, I don't know if you can see it or not, but we've got a nice gray tint in here. You can probably see it a little bit on the top of the pavers. What this will do is it'll tint the sand as well as darkening up the color of the paver as well. We go really slow. I usually start in the corner, but for video's sake, I'll start right out in the middle. It's not going to make the sand super dark, but it will give it a nice gray enhancement. This customer homeowner wants a nice dark colored paver, and so we try to tailor make our jobs with our tinting and our restoration projects to what the homeowner likes. So this is a little sample about how we do it. We'll let that tack up. We've got a textured paver here, so we'll make sure that we give it a couple minutes and then we'll blow it around to make sure that all of this sealer goes back into the joints. You can see it flooding the joints right here, right now, so that's really what we want. We want this coat to kind of lock this joint sand into place. Following our coating of this over the whole pool deck, we'll then do a couple of top coats, a nice 50-50 mix, nice concentrate to give it a nice shine. We'll add more sealer, more of our tinting agent to it, which will give it a nice dark appearance. And what we'll do at the end, we'll do a walkthrough, kind of show you what everything looks like. But this is how our process works. Our main goal here is to flood these joints, try to get that sand a little bit gray with our tint, and darken up the pavers as well. So we're going to get to sealing right now, and we'll show you what the finished product looks like. Guys, it's Edward. We're here on our final day of our pool deck restoration. What we've done now is we've cleaned it, we've removed all the polymeric sand, we've removed all the old failing sealer, we've resanded it, we've tinted it, and we've sealed it. So now we've got our finished product. What we're going to come in today and do is just do some minor touch-ups, clean up some excess sand that was left behind on the surface, shop vac it, replace all the rocks. But you know, if you walk around and look, you can see that it's got a nice sheen to it now. It's got a nice dark gray color to it. The sand is nice and locked into place again. The coping is a nice dark gray. You can see where the water is beating on top. You can hear where the water is beating on top. So all in all, this pool deck came out pretty nice. Restored it back to a nice dark gray color. Hopefully the homeowner's happy. I think that he will be. And what we'll do is we'll upload this video as a full event. We'll upload some pictures. If you need any help, if you need any questions, if your pool deck looks subpar and you want us to restore it for you, we're more than happy to come out and take a look at it. Once again, it's Edward's staff with Pressure Points, 813-333-1709. Andy's going to walk around real quick and just take a quick video of what the surface looks like finished.